Alright, so take after take after take after take after take on this. I'm going to get this out because I got to get better. So anyways, we were talking about the whole domestic thing. Um, so Katie and I had an issue at one point, and she decided to call her crew rather than work with me to resolve the issue. She calls up her crew and tells them that we had an issue, which, okay, fine. So her crew decides that they're going to have an intervention with her. And with this, they all come over. She, you know, okay, wait. They decide they're going to have an intervention. After which, Katie and I sat down and we talked, and we resolved the issue ourselves. That's when she told me that she called and they were going to have an intervention. So she told me that she was going to let them have their little say, and then she was going to stand up for herself, and we were going to carry on with our life. That should be the end of their interference in our relationship. But this is what happened. So they come over, Frank comes over and he says, he starts talking with me and having a good time, whatever. Then he looks at Katie just out of nowhere and he says, "Hey, come on, I got something in the car to show you." Like, I didn't know what was going on. Katie says, "Well, let me bring Ken." And he said no. I was, all right, so I sat up there and I was smoking cigarettes and twiddling my thumbs, and I think I even smoked a joint that night, which, is rare because I stopped smoking weed. And so she comes back up and she's just glowing, she's radiating, and oh man, she's beautiful when she does that. And so she says that Frank had told her, and well, they all told her, that because I didn't have roots in Sacramento, and because they didn't know me, and because I was a traveler, then the only possible outcome of this whole situation was that I was going to take her up in the redwoods and kill her, and leave her body there to rot. Which, why in the fuck would I want to do that? I've never killed anybody. And so, she let that one slide, she said. And then Frank started beating on her arms, just started pounding the fuck out of her arms. I saw these bruises, they were fucking huge. I'd never even left a bruise like that on my life, ever. And he did this to both arms, and he was like, "Imagine that's what he's going to do to your face." And she did. She let this seed germinate in her head, and it Fibonacci off into so many different directions that all she could think about was all these negative things that I was going to do to her and these harmful things, but this didn't happen right away. This took a couple of days and just started getting worse and worse and worse. And one of her friends gave her a thing of mace, and so I'm going to explore a little bit here because it really is good for me to get this out. And seeing as how she didn't care about my mental stability after the breakups, and she sent me emails that were just fucked up, which I may or may not expose. I really don't care anymore. I have the right to be better. So we were going to start this business. We were going to get a truck and a trailer and get a laptop and a t-shirt printer. We were going to travel around. We were going to we wanted to get a diesel because it wouldn't take much to switch it over to a biodiesel, so it wouldn't be that harmful to the earth. And we were going to travel around because she was getting her inheritance, and I really did not want to spend a lot of her money. And I figured if we were going to travel around, we were going to spread our message. Then if we started a business that would bring money back in, then we weren't really spending much of her money. And I told her, I said I didn't even want paid, just keep me in cigarettes and food and mushrooms, and we're golden. She can keep the rest of the money and until she brought her account back up to what it was when she got her inheritance, and we'd be set. Because I wasn't after the money. I wanted her. I wanted to be with her. And she wanted to explore communes and different, spiritual conferences. And I wanted to explore some consciousness studies and things like that. So, we figured in between festivals selling shirts that we would go and do this. And so we bought the truck and we bought the trailer, and this is what we were planning to do. We already had a laptop, so all we had to do was get the printer and head off and start our brand new life. But that wasn't going to happen. See, I feel like I'm about to give a promo for my book. But, so, anyways, she let these fears that her husband, he's always, you know, you're going to die if you try to enjoy your life here. You're going to die if you try to enjoy your life there. And it was just so, I mean, why would, wait, let me rephrase that, because I don't want to know why. I do not want, you know what, I was hurt. I really was in love with this woman. I am in love with this woman. And it's not because she showered me in gifts. It wasn't because, which she didn't. She, you know, I paid my way most of the way. And it wasn't for anything other than I was just in love with this woman. I am in love with this woman. And she hurt me. She hurt me really fucking bad. And yeah, I don't know if she's like trying to question or make me question my belief in love. Maybe love doesn't exist. Well, bullshit. I now know for a fact that love exists. I now know for a fact the bliss that it can bring. And now my faith and belief in love is far greater than anything I could have ever believed in before. So, to get better, I explore little things in my head, my imagination. I let it go wild. And I'm in this little town in Pennsylvania. Let me see if I got enough time. And I did. So I met this girl in Pennsylvania. We're not like together or anything. She's not into men. But it's really weird because her name is Katie too. And she's on some of the same prescriptions as Katie. And it's just weird because she's dealing with her own succubus. Like Katie threw some water in my face one time and then sat up on my chest, put her hands on my shoulders, and, you know, it felt so good. It was like, oh my fucking God. And if it wasn't for the symbology, I would have let her sit there because, oh, I mean, she was light as a feather on my chest. She's a bigger girl, so, I mean, but it just felt so good. And this Katie here, she has her own succubus, and she threw grape juice in the girl's face, in Katie's face, and sat up on her chest and felt light as a feather, and it felt so good, and, you know. So my mind starts, like, exploring, like, what could this be, because my imagination is still there. I got to explore little possibilities of what it could be. So what if this was, you know, a different incarnation of Katie out in Sacramento who had to win the game at all costs, kind of like, you know, a corporation with its, you know, profit at all costs motivation. But, so Katie had to win this game or whatever to, you know, hurt me or whatever, try to prove that love doesn't exist when I know full well now that it does. And so what if her reward for whatever it was is to come back and be in this little town in Pennsylvania, and because she likes the same girls that I do, or the same kind of girls that I do, the ones that have been hurt and they need somebody to, you know, walk with them and while they go through their process and face their demons, well, what if she met, you know, somebody that was just like her and got to walk a mile in my shoes? And, you know, so I watch this girl here, and she's going through the same things I was, and I long for her, you know, I feel for her. I just like, I want to take that pain away. It's, you know, I hear my wife's voice in my head right now, you know, when our son was diagnosed with diabetes, and I just wanting to take the pain away and wanting to take the disease and the shots for him, and, you know, but, so, it's just, so all your successes in, like, taking advantage and hurting somebody, you get to come back and walk a mile in their shoes and be the one that gets hurt. And but the only problem is now this one's a lesbian, so I mean now she's so much like, yeah, it's just really weird. But so what I'm thinking about doing is exploring, like, some of my more imaginative shit, like going into all the negative crap that I have experienced, and showing little ways of how to flip it and make it better, and all this vengeance motive where people got to take advantage of them, and this is normal in this society to be vengeful and fucking, you know, eye for an eye crap. Well, the way I see it is, fuck that. If that's normal to you, see, and my exploring my imagination and coming up with a better reasoning and not seeing the negativity, because I believe once you get through all the coatings and negativity in people, there's something golden in each of them. Especially Katie. Oh man, if that chick would reflect, oh my goodness, and she got done processing the world, she would radiate to the world something very fucking fantastical. But she won't do that because it's all about her. But I don't know. Maybe she will. I'm going to spin it that way in my head. So if it's crazy for me to do that, and it's normal for everybody to be spiteful and vengeful and only think about themselves, well, you know, I think it's kind of crazy that we're all destroying the fucking earth and sucking the lifeblood out of the earth for fucking oil when there's better fucking options. I mean, you know, to destroy the earth for electricity when we've got, you know, the knowledge and the technology for the Tesla coil. We've got, you know, fluoride being forced down our throats in the water supply. We've got, you know, vaccines, fucking schools telling people. Your school has no fucking right to tell your kids how they're going to, you know, about their medical. Your school is to teach, not, you know, and then that's just indoctrination now. Anyways, they're just teaching gibberish. I've never seen two documentaries on World War II that matched up and told the same facts, so it's, you know, and this goes along with the majority of history. And so the schools teach you what they want you to know. I didn't know that, you know, sexism and racism and all this shit was, that we were supposed to fucking, you know, put black people down, or black people were supposed to put white people down until schools taught me. I didn't know that women were supposed to be feeling oppressed until the schools taught me. We didn't have these issues when we were kids. They had to be instilled in us. They had to be indoctrinated into us. So the ones actually responsible for that are the ones that teach us to hate, because we're not born in a state of hate. We're born in a state of love, and we're born to care about each other. And for the most part, most kids actually do this naturally. So yeah, what I'm going to do is start taking these negative things, and I'm going to start exploring my imagination and all the wackiness that comes with it, and start throwing a positive spin on it and the possibilities of how it could be positive. And fuck all this negative sociopathic crap and these narcissistic fucks, because they don't want to see outside of their own selves, but yet they want to blame everybody else and make everybody else a scapegoat. Fuck that shit. You're responsible for your own actions. Anyways, peace, everybody. Have a great day.